How's it going, everyone? Maximilian here with the finale and final episode for Marvel vs. Capcom 3, The Online Warrior. It's the classic saying, out with the old, in with the new, and Marvel 3 is on its last legs, whereas Ultimate Marvel 3 is just about over a month in release from right now. And this video is going to be a bit special in comparison to some of the previous. I think I had one other video in the past where I covered some information regarding tournaments and performing at tournaments and such like that, but this is going to be an extra special one because this isn't just a tournament, and it's Evo 2011. And this might be a little late, as you would ask, but to be honest, there's been a ton of other videos I was working on at the time, and this is my first opportunity to finally get out an Evo recap video and essentially make this a thank you video. This is kind of my testament to anyone that's been watching the show, anyone who's joined the Online Warrior, and anyone who's watched Assist Me in the past, because I'm a huge fan of going to Evo, but actually competing at Evo is something that I tend to not do sometimes. It really depends. The structure for the tournaments has been much better this year, and it went a lot quicker. But in general, I freeze up in big tournaments. I do good in local casual tournaments, but to be honest, and I think I've mentioned this before, I am not a big tournament player. And when it comes to things like that, I tend to just freeze up and forget everything that I've studied up and known about and should be ready for, and all of a sudden, when you're put in the spotlight, just flies out of your ear and it's completely gone. That's just my fault. You essentially remedy something like that by going to more tournaments. When I was initially going to Wednesday night fights when the initial seasons were going on for Marvel vs. Capcom 3, I found myself getting much easier to play in tournament settings, like remembering the things I should know about matchups instead of forgetting them right off the bat, and actually being able to execute better. I'd say in tournament play this year, I had a couple of good games. I got top 8 once at Wednesday night fights, which was really humbling to me because I didn't think I was able to get that far. And at Wednesday night fights, it's pretty much the fiercest Marvel competition. This was back in, I think, April or May. It's some of the fiercest Marvel competition that was available at the time. And I was pretty proud of myself to get that far, even coming out of losers. But in general, like, I would almost get every time I would go top 16. But it's not about the placing, it was just about competing. And I would have felt absolutely awful if I would have composed videos like this, videos giving people advice on how to level up their game and how to perform better in video games, if I wasn't to actually go and do it myself. Even though I'm sure a lot of you guys might already know the result, I did pretty tragically bad. And mostly because, as you're probably seeing right now, I got put up on the stage with Floe right at the start, and this is a huge deja vu moment. Because the first time I had an actual match at Wednesday Night Fights, I got put up on the stage, or the stream, with Floe at Wednesday Night Fights for the very first time. This is the first time I'd went to a tournament in like 5 years. Not that long, maybe about 3 years since Street Fighter 4 first came out. And it was just nerve-wracking as all hell, and he blew me up then, and he blows me up now. Floe is an extremely cool guy and a character specialist. I think back in the day he was probably the best Magneto there was around, and he was the only one that could successfully do ROM loops at the time, so Floe absolutely deserves it. He's a guy that puts in the time, the training towards being the best, and he absolutely is. He's one of the greatest Marvel players there is. So if you're asking, like, man, weren't you pissed about losing? Like, wouldn't it upset you greatly? Like, to be honest, guys, it's just a match. When it comes down to it, it's more important that I went to Evo and performed. Like, I would have been more angry at myself if I had not competed, because I would have felt like I'd let a lot of people down. And for the people that were watching on the stream and in the crowd, like, hearing cheers from people for my cheesy little shows, and hoping for me to do good, was one of the most humbling experiences ever. If not, you might also be seeing another match right now. I think I actually went 1 and 2 in Marvel vs. Capcom 3 at Evo, which is a horrible performance. However, I'm not too sure who my win-up was against, but I got put up first against Floe, and I got last put up against Clakey D, arguably the best Tron player there is. So, if anything, if you're asking if I'm salty about losing to Floe or Clakey D, absolutely not. These guys are absolute specialists. And if anything, I would be more upset if I got randomed out by some person that, you know, happy birthdays me like 4 times in a row, and I'd never heard of them. If anything, I'd prefer to lose to specialists, because these guys absolutely deserve it through their hard work and dedication towards being character specialists, and that's just how it works. If anything, right after I got to play like 2 hours of Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3, and I was able to go on some 20-game win streaks. I mean, I had so much fun, and for the sake of going up to like people's rooms and then playing more Marvel 3 on a casual level where I perform shockingly better, like of course I do, because I'm so bad in tournaments, that's a blast too, playing people that are really good at the game and then being able to analyze your gameplay. If anything, it's a complete blast. Evo is a once-in-a-lifetime experience because every single time I go to Evo, it's better the next year. And it's gotten to the point where I was initially saying now, it's like a convention. Like, it was amazing seeing so many people there in one not tightly packed area, but it was a huge ballroom serving up arcade sticks where you can buy, t-shirts everywhere. These superstars who've been playing the game for so long just like casually walking around and running into these people. It's totally awesome. And then they approach me saying how much they enjoy the stuff I'm producing in the show, and that's one of the most amazing things, is that I'm actually able to appeal towards guys that are pros. I've been doing this since I've been watching like YouTube since like early 2005s and 6s and such, and watching old Third Strike videos and CVS2 videos and Marvel 2 videos, and now they're actually fond of the stuff I do. Like I said, it's an extremely humbling experience, and I can't thank anyone who came up to and approached myself and Dr. Doom or the crew as we were walking around Evo. It means a lot, and as this show had its very humble beginnings with me just starting with a basic, you know, online gameplay tips and tutorial type of thing, it quickly grew into something I wanted to make it bigger. I wanted to make it more interesting. I constantly wanted the next episode to potentially be better than the previous, and can't one-up everything like extensively, but I think you can definitely improve on things as you go along. And it's the same thing with gameplay and playing online and taking it towards tournament settings. It's really experience when it comes down to what's really at its core. And like I'm saying, you can take me for an example as far as getting blown up at something like Evo. It's because I don't have the tournament experience. I had the opportunity to do that. Wednesday Night Fights is a great outlet for it, but when it came down to it, a lot of people were interested in like the Assist Me series and the Online Warrior series, and I wanted to focus on that stuff. And I thought it might, and I really enjoy it, to be honest. I really enjoy making these videos. I enjoy doing the series. It's just the availability of time was always an issue, and it was whether I dedicate time to becoming better at Marvel or dedicate the time to making a fight scene that is ridiculously long between Wesker and Dr. Doom. But in general, I wanted to make this video as a thanks to the fans, as a thanks to anyone who has commented on the videos, anyone who's enjoyed the videos, or anyone who has critiqued or offered advice as far as things that could possibly be done better. This is for you guys, and I can only hope I can keep doing more of it. And right now I have the opportunity to keep it up. And with a new game coming out like Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3, it's a new horizon. It's a brand new experience. It's a more balanced gameplay. I still enjoyed Marvel vs. Capcom 3, but there is some stuff that ridiculously bugged me. But at the same time, I still found the core of the game a lot of fun. Of course, getting blown up by like Magneto and getting blown up by Wolverine and Akuma will upset anyone to some degree, but you gotta understand it's just a game, and either you learn to work around it or you wait for the next one to come out, if it's the case in the modern day. But Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3 is offering something that looks to be pretty unique. They're rebalancing the gameplay, and I think this could be a really good fresh start for the Online Warrior series, as there's going to be a lot of new information being thrown at people constantly regarding these new characters and the new gameplay system and Air X Factor and all the stuff that's going to be happening with Ultimate Marvel 3, and comparing it to the previous game, so I'm pretty excited. November 15th cannot come any sooner, because you better believe that the Online Warrior for Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3 will be in full force, and I'll be doing my best to produce maybe 1 or 2 videos a week going over and finding some of the best online competition. And oh man, if the netcode is better for that game, it would be even more awesome, because Marvel 3 had some rough netcode in some areas if you didn't have a local connection. I'm only thinking of stuff that'll come in the future, and it seems like an absolute blast. But like I said, thank you everyone for watching. As you're already familiar from the end of the Assist Me series for the original Marvel vs. Capcom 3, there's going to be an Ultimate Assist Me happening pretty soon. That'll be right around the release of the game. So I'll be doing my best to get information around certain characters, and hopefully you'll know more about that relatively soon. But for now, I'll leave you with a small montage and video clips and images of Dr. Doom roaming around the floors of Evo, interacting and saying hi to fans of the show.
After all is said and done, you never quit, now Wesker's gone. Doom's a winner! Doom's got the moves, the THCs, mix-ups and mobility. You're nobody's fool. Doom's the best on the handheld stage, but it's time to block from the Sentinel rage. You got the touch. You got X Factor. When all hell's breaking loose, you'll be making it rain with Storm. You got the hell. Over 1 million HP. You know that when time's running out, you got the touch. You got the power.
But to conclude this final episode, I just wanted to do a brief look back and take a few of my more notable and interesting things that happened during the online escapades of Season 1 of Marvel vs. Capcom 3 The Online Warrior. Check them out. I lead into America's favorite combo with Wesker, which is just the ground gun into X Factor Super. And then... Whoa. Oh, did you see that? Hold on, let me rewind. So it looks like, as I'm falling, Wesker's forward dashes actually catch Ryu in the back roll. I've never seen that before. Level 3 X Factor Sentinel takes the match. Now, don't get me wrong, I don't really have a problem with Sentinel to begin with, because he was never really an issue. The Sentinel patch came out and nothing changed. People still play him all the time. Sentinel's not the bad guy. I mean, come on, look at his face. This is a Sentinel that you can be best friends with, or go get a cheeseburger. He's not the bad guy. But all of a sudden, in a giant red flash, everything you knew about your friend is lost. There's no reasoning with it. There's no fighting it. All you do is run.
He's coming for you.
His Iron Man combo. Thank goodness, and ooh, I'm able to tag him at the end here and enter the Wesker gun juggle. And I think this is going to KO. Yeah, that thing does a lot of damage. That combo is one of the more funny things to do in the game. It's weird how even with level 2 X Factor, how effective it becomes. And I mean, it looks pretty cool too. There's some plenty of other fancy Wesker looking combos that you might have seen from the Assist Me Wesker video. But I was just reminded immediately in this situation to pull this combo off because it seemed like the best way to do damage in this very moment. Worried, but wow. Currently locking me down in the corner with Iron Man. This stuff is pretty cool, actually. And activate 2 weapons at the same time, and here comes Deadpool to perhaps do the best impression I've seen in Marvel vs. Capcom 3 of haters gonna hate. You go, Deadpool. You show him what's up, stab him in the feet, and shoot him in the head. I think I'm gonna make a GIF out of this extremely goofy situation. You can find it in the comments. And this is gonna be it. Beautiful Joe gives Doom a beautiful hand job, and that's the end of the game. Rip it out of him, Joe, like he doesn't want it. And being Comic-Con and being Marvel vs. Capcom 3, there's going to be some special announcements. Wait a minute, I got a bolo loop, hold on a sec. Oh, I love that combo so much. And if you all would like, I have some match videos that took place from our room during EVO 2011 where I go in a few money matches and against some notable players in the community. If you want to check them out, they should be available on the channel now. Once again, thank you guys very much for watching, and I'll see you in Season 2 of Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3, The Online Warrior.